Who is not on LinkedIn at all? Not on LinkedIn at all. Okay, all right. Yep, good, that's fine. And who has more than 500 connections? Okay, all right. So that's your goal. For anyone who's not on it, I want you to have 500 connections by Christmas. It's different on LinkedIn. Okay, we're not talking strategic alliances.
Okay, so you just, all these people that want me to, whatever they want me to do, I connect.
All right, you don't necessarily have to connect with everyone that comes your way. But just a really quick couple of stories about LinkedIn. I told you about meeting Iggy Pintado, total Luddite, and then saying, okay, I'm going to learn about it. I made every mistake you could make when I first started. But then I realised I knew nothing, and there must be other people like me who also knew nothing. So if I spent 2 or 3 days really mastering this as much as I could, then I'd be able to share it with others and share it with my clients, which is pretty much what I've been doing for the last 5 years now. And I do LinkedIn audits. I'll often sit with an organisation and say, let's go through all of the profiles. So here's some of the things. So just one of the questions that's already come up is, do I have to say yes to everyone? No, you don't. You don't. But if it's someone, you'll get really good at looking at profiles and clicking on their name and taking 30 seconds to just read through and think, does this look really dodgy? Is this like Nigeria or whoop whoop? And they haven't taken time to do a decent profile and they look really dodgy, then I'll just no. And I don't have to worry that I might hurt their feelings. They've just but LinkedIn has 4,000 engineers that are continually working to improve the LinkedIn system. And they want to do, from what you could do years ago to what you can do now is a lot less. But their mantra is do less better. And that's what they work. So a few weeks ago, they changed one of the things I'd been able to do for years. And I went into my network and said, has anyone else found that when you click on that connections thing, no longer does all that information come up? I thought that's really unusual. Is it just me? Have I done something wrong? Or is it everyone? And all these other people said, me too, me too, me too. Yes, I don't know why. Within 30 minutes, I had a message from a LinkedIn maverick who was based in, I'd never met a LinkedIn maverick before, but he was number 4 employed by LinkedIn when LinkedIn first came to Australia. He was in Melbourne. He said, my auntie is on your connections list and she says you've got a problem here today. I'm available now to phone, or would you like me to call tomorrow after 9 o'clock? And I said, yep, 9:15 would be fabulous. I'll call you. And I did. And he was the most helpful guy, and he explained why they had merged this and merged that. And I said, I don't really think that's a good idea. And he said, well, you find if you use facilities more, you'll be able to do that. But if you haven't used it for a while, oh, well, I've been in Darwin and, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, that's why it's dropped off. Okay, well, that makes sense. So he took his name. He said, I run LinkedIn workshops. I said, yeah, so do I. And he said, yeah. I said, but I didn't know this. He said, well, good on you for using it. He was very helpful. So a LinkedIn maverick. See, reinventing. Were they around 5 years ago? Certainly not. So whatever it is that you do. So let's just go through these 13 secrets, which won't be secrets after I share them with you. Your profile page is everything. Absolutely everything. Because it's your business card, it's your promotional collateral, it's your credibility, it's everything. If you don't want to write it yourself, get someone else to write it for you. I've written them for people where they've sent me a resume and I've had a conversation and then I've worded up a bit. You don't need me. You ask your network for feedback. Is this what I'm like? What do you think? And they'll say, but what about and what about? Because if you're 50 plus, you're trying to get the credibility of this is what I've been doing over a period of time. Look what other people do and think, I don't want to sound like they do. I don't want to sound pushy. The key thing with your profile, it is not a selling tool. It is a credibility tool. It means that if I'm reading yours and I'm reading about this bookkeeper and that bookkeeper, and they're both in the same area and they both, my research shows they pretty much charge the same amount, more or less, why should I pick that one? Oh, look, they're interested in films and whales and sunrises. Hey, I've got that in common with them. I think I'll go with that one. Or at least I'll contact them. And as you know, what LinkedIn does, it says, here's you and here's all the other people like you. So they conveniently put all your competitors up there. Now, you may not see those people as competitors at all. They might be somewhere else in the world. But you're wanting that when they get to your page, your home page, you have taken the time to do it well. And tell people a bit about yourself in whether it's I am, I do, or third party. Mary does. Mary has been doing.
Which is better?
It depends on you. It really depends on what you're saying. I tend to go the third party, but or third person. But what I suggest, and one of the clients that I've worked a bit with on LinkedIn, and she's now writing articles. She gets me to snazz them up a bit when she's written them. And that's interesting too, because she's the one who said, you'll do yourself out of a job, and I said, that's my plan. And I've said to her, if you want to write better, read more. Read the papers that your clients read. Read the things that your clients read, because then you get the language that they're using. And language is everything. You can't go to the accounting firms and talk about customers because they have clients, not customers. Or just the little differences, but it's important to them. So the second part of your profile is your photo. So important that you have a decent photo. Now, I know my credibility is at risk because these little streaks are new. I knew I was seeing Gary. I thought, what can I do with my hair to zhuzh it up a bit? He's going to do a bit of filming. And my hairdresser suggested that a few weeks ago. And I said, my photo doesn't look like this now. He said, well, no, to your glasses, Robyn, so you need a new photo anyway. I went, yeah, I do, but then I'll be stuck with the red. He went, no, it's all right. But your photo, you don't want... Sometimes people put the Eiffel Tower in the background, or Uluru, or Bondi Beach. Well, that's really nice that you've been to Bondi Beach, but I can't see your face. And the whole point of having a photo on LinkedIn is I want to see your face, because that will remind me of who you are. Yes, so photo is very important. They see it on the profile. If you're currently, number two, if you're currently not a premium LinkedIn subscriber, when I joined LinkedIn, premium costs $25 a month. I think now it's more 99 a month. 99 a month. Okay, when I started it was 25 a month. Now it's 99. I still pay 25. So whatever you get in at, it's not going to go up, which is a good thing. However, my suggestion is if you haven't got 500, don't do premium because you're wasting your money. But when you get to 500, you see the point of it because you've actually been doing 10 minutes a day and you get the whole momentum. You can get a free subscription of Premium LinkedIn for 30 days, but don't waste those 30 days and have a holiday in the middle or know that you've got a busy time, you're not going to be there. But if you are going to get into LinkedIn as a great reinvention tool, and if you look at my profile, after the course, you might find that, I talk a lot about different things. I've spent a lot of time on the profile. So on the right-hand side of your homepage, LinkedIn gives you a meter on how good how they rate you on it, and mine's nearly 100%. For those that don't have it at all, obviously it starts at 0, but it gets up pretty quickly, and that's just to encourage you to share more information. Commit to spend 10 to 15 minutes per day on LinkedIn. Be strategic, don't just play. Shortly, I'll tell you what to do with those 15 minutes. I see that Facebook is going to the pub and LinkedIn is going to a networking event. My clients are at networking events, but I appreciate that some of your clients are on Facebook more than they're on LinkedIn. So that's okay. With the skin rejuvenation, you're wanting people who not only want good skin, they've also got the money to pay for your services. So I'd steer towards LinkedIn with less on Facebook. I'm not even sure if you do Facebook, but with depending what your product is. The bookkeeper needs LinkedIn. The mortgage brokers and the property and the printing and the problem solving, if we could call yours, Phil, problem solving, it's around LinkedIn because that's the corporate client. Once you identify where it is, make your decision. LinkedIn provides a brilliant tracking system. I cannot tell you how many times I have been, so this was a live example. I use it if I'm having a meeting with someone and they tell me there's going to be a couple of people there. I get their names. I look at the LinkedIn. I have a couple of points where they were born, where they. I don't care where they were born. I don't care where they went to school. But if it's on their page, I can at least say, "Oh, I noticed you grew up in Geelong." And I say, "Oh, I checked you out on LinkedIn. I noticed you grew up in Geelong. Oh, you interested in blah blah blah." Or I find something on everyone's profile that I have some bit of interest in so I can get a conversation going. So here was a live situation on the Sunshine Coast a short time ago, and I was with a group up there, a not-for-profit. They were going to Brisbane, meeting with a minister and the health officials and blah, blah, about funding in their with the services that they offer in their sort of not-for-profit facilities. And they were quite anxious about it, and there was a delegation going down, 4 people going down, and they were meeting with 4 or 5. And I said, "What are the names of the people?" They only had 2 names. They didn't know who the other 3 were. I said, "Okay, let's start with those 2. So we put one person's name up, and instantly they saw that they had people in common, that this person had grown up in Toowoomba, there's 2 of the people going down were from Toowoomba, they were roughly the same age, not that they could tell the age, but from the photo, they saw, "Oh, he used to work at so-and-so, oh, that's great, I used to be there, I was there from 82 to 87, oh, look, he was there at the same time, oh, I must have known," so it was this whole thing that they knew the research, and then they looked the second person, and they knew a little bit, not much. And I said, "Okay, so don't focus on the second person, focus on the first one." And I said, "Right, you're driving from Sunshine Coast to Brisbane. Oh, what time's the meeting?" And they said 1 o'clock. I said, "Oh, we're going to leave here at 11:30. I said, "Leave at 9 and get there early." "Oh, no, we don't need to leave. Blah, 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 blah." I said, "Leave at 9 and get there early. How many times have you been stuck on that motorway when there's an accident?" "Oh, yeah, I guess this is a really important, this meeting is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to you. Leave at 9 or 9:30 latest, get in there, settle, have coffee, get there early, but make sure you're up at that meeting 15 minutes early, before 1. 12:45, get there." "We don't normally do that." I said, "I don't care what you normally do. Just humour me for tomorrow. This is really important." They got there 12:45. The others got stuck on the freeway. That was okay. 2 of the people stuck on the freeway, didn't make it. So they talked Toowoomba for 15 minutes. 15 minutes of which they wouldn't have got onto Toowoomba if they hadn't read the profile. And the woman was over the moon the next day. She said, "Oh, Robyn, we got there early. It was they invited us in. We saw the guy. He was, blah, 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 blah." I said, "Did you get the money?" She said, "Oh, we're here in a month." I said, "Good." And they didn't get quite as much as they wanted, but they got more than they'd hoped. So it really, use it as a research tool. Who are the people that you're going to meet, rather than, and in a sales role, rather than just going, "I'm going to see Fred Bloggs," look up Fred Bloggs. "I notice you're not on LinkedIn. Any reason?" "Oh, no, I'm on Facebook." Great, look them up on Facebook. It's not stalking, it's research. Number 6, use LinkedIn as a fantastic follow-up tool after attending networking events. Send a personal invitation. "Great to meet you at the Shell Harbour Business Network. We spoke about blah, blah. I'd love to connect with you on LinkedIn. We met at the conference," whatever. Now, if you look at my business card, and I will get one from each of you later, on the back of my business card, I have a QR code. QR codes come from qrcode.com. They're free. And I learnt this from one of the students at QUT, who we were talking about how to stand out from their competitors. Now, I've got a couple of websites, but I wanted the QR code, not because I'm into technology, but this is my LinkedIn profile. So it's very different from my website. So when people put a phone over that, the thing comes up on LinkedIn, the profile page, and they can send me an invitation. You just got to make it easy for people to deal with you. Easy for you to get information. So QR codes are great. Have you all got a business card, just by the by? You see? Yeah?
You can connect with me on Facebook, on
On LinkedIn. Okay, you got to send me an invitation. Okay, that's good. Okay. All right, so just quickly moving through the next few. Number 7, monitor your LinkedIn activity every week. Recommendations, group activity. Recommendations, all right. Halfway down, let's say you call up Gary's profile, and halfway down, you read about what he's done. Halfway down, there'll be a line that says, would you like to recommend Gary? My guess is that very few of you in the room have ever given a recommendation. But if you want to build your credibility, you want a lot of recommendations, and it's reciprocity. If you give recommendations out, you get recommendations back. So if I want to recommend Gary, yep, fabulous to work with, made it very easy, da-da-da-da-da. You only have to write 10 lines. You press send, it comes up and it says, we'll let Gary know you've sent him a recommendation. It goes into his inbox, and then he can say, yes, I want it displayed on my profile page or not. But you think of, particularly for the mortgage and the data and your problem solving, you're thinking, who are the people who have made my job easy? What can I say that's nice about them? I guarantee you, if you do one recommendation a day or one recommendation a week, your LinkedIn profile will get sky high.
What about people that recommend you things that you actually don't do?
I'm now, when I say recommendations, I'm not talking about those skill things on the top. I think those skill things on the top are useless.
They sent me stuff and I think,
Yeah, no, not those. No, that's a endorsement.
yeah.
Halfway down is a recommendation. A recommendation is a referral. A recommendation says you're a great mortgage broker. A recommendation says you're a great bookkeeper. So that's endorsements up the top, of endorsement of skills, and I do think they're a waste of time. I think they've lost their effectiveness, but the recommendations down below are what you want. And you just say what your relationship is with them. They're a client, you've worked with them, you've known them for whatever time, and send those. Just, if you spent 10 minutes one day thinking, who are the people that I work with all the time, or people that I know, or my network, or my clients, my friends, who can I give recommendations to? That would be, because it's reciprocity. You give out 20, you get back 20. Client I was working with recently, she said, I've not received one recommendation. I said, well, I've checked out your profile, you've never given one. Let's start giving them. And you don't necessarily send one to Phil and he sends one back to you, but the whole reciprocity thing, they get out there and they come back. Find mutual connections. So you could come to my profile, which is open, not closed. You can close your profile on LinkedIn, but if you've got an open profile, you can click on where it says connections and you can look through my 8,000 connections if you've got absolutely nothing to do.
I'm only one of 8,000.
Sorry to burst your bubble there, that you're only one of 8,000. But it's a great way to say, oh, who we've got in common. Now, first division, I don't think they use the word, first level, yeah, sorry. First level would be Angie and I. We know each other, and the people that I'm connected to in the room. Okay, we've known each other for a number of years, but it doesn't say all that. It just says we're first level. Second level are people that Angie knows that I don't know.
That might have been in one of those sorts of situations.
Yeah, like a third party. Third level are people that Angie and I have never met, neither of us have any connection to. Now, when you click on my connections list, or anyone in the room's connections list that's got an open profile, you can go, oh, here are all the ones we've got in common, and we would have a lot in common in this area. And then so I can click on, now, just really important point before we just close off on this. When you send an invitation to connect with someone, you know, LinkedIn will send you those people you may know and they put their name, and don't click it there, because that inane message goes off that says, I'd like to connect with you, and it's not a personal message. Take 20 seconds to go to their profile page, to actually click on their name so their profile page comes up, and then click on connect from there. because then you can write a personal message. And if it says, how do you know this person, friend, classmate, colleague, blah, 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 I always say we've worked together, because I treat that we've worked together in this environment. We know each other. Yeah? We know each other. And then I write a personal message, great to meet you at the workshop, all the best with your reinvention, I'd like to connect with you. Very few people say no to personal messages. Everyone says no to those automatic ones. Okay?
If I got that, I might remember that John actually sent me what his name was.
Yes. Yeah, 80% of us don't remember names. That's why we need a decent photo in there too.
I didn't know that one, so that's...
Well, there you go. I'm glad you've learned something. Do you need a photo on a business card? Not necessarily. I go to a lot of things where I don't know anyone. And particularly as a speaker, you've seen 5 million and one speakers in your day. You know, most of us regularly go to something every week or month. And I just find it makes it easier for people to remember me if I've got a photo on my card. But, and particularly if I'm going to a conference, and it's a bit of a talking point because I don't often look like that. I sort of look different, you know, that's a, you know, professional photo. I don't always look like that. So I'll make it, oh, I don't really look like that today, but here's my card. Oh, you do? Oh, what are you studying? Off it goes. So it's a conversation starter, but you don't necessarily need that. And if you are going to have a photo, get a good one. Using both sides of the card. I think total waste of money just getting that one side printed. You know, it's the same as any sort of printing, use two sides of the card. Well, there you go. There, well, you can put a tip on the back. You got a photo. Well, that's good. That's good. Good, good. Oh, QR code. Look at you. Look at you. Any wonder. Okay. The QR code is, you go to qrcode.com and you, whatever you want to save, so I want to save my LinkedIn profile, so I just go into my LinkedIn profile and save that, you know, that web address. Oh, you put it over the phone. You put it over the phone. Oh, you need an app. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not that person. I'm going to collect everyone's card shortly. Yeah, and you can do that bump thing with the phones, but, you know, that's not me. Okay, so just to wrap the LinkedIn bit up, so we'll get on to the strategic alliances. Page 3 is how will you spend your 10 to 15 minutes each day? How will you spend your 10 to 15 minutes each day? And what you're doing, best time management of 10 minutes a day, put one out there for me too. When you're doing LinkedIn, if you cluster activity together, it'll be a more efficient use of your time. So on one day, you send invitations. On one day, you send recommendations. On one day, you might get into group activity, review your groups, or alternately, you might cut and post a Word document. Those ebooks that you were going to write in the previous session, those ebooks, they're perfect for LinkedIn. And you just post them, okay? You go to your homepage, at the top it says upload a photo, upload a post, or write a post. Just click on that little pencil that's on that homepage at the top, and you can write a post. But make sure you've cut and pasted it, there's no typos in it before you put it across. Give it a title, attention-compelling title, like ask a question is a good way to, you know, or what are the 3 biggest mistakes people make with blah, 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 and put that up. Then people in your network will see that you've written something, and what you find is the most I ever had, I did one, it was quite, I didn't think it was anything special, but the heading was, the post title was the differences between male and female networking, and I got something like 3,000, they pick it up, that Pulse, which is the LinkedIn writing section, they are looking for posts all the time that their members will be interested in, and they picked that up and I got thousands of likes on it. So again, it just builds your profile, all right? So just to restate, I love LinkedIn. As much as it changes things on a regular basis, I still think it is the best networking and tracking tool and prospecting tool for you. All you need to do is put in location and the profession that you're looking for, and you'll get all those people who are in your area doing that profession. So it's a fantastic, fantastic tool. So I look forward to linking with you for those of you who aren't on LinkedIn now.